Welcome to the Cruise Retreat Podcast. Hi, I'm Rita Perez, and I'm a travel advisor specializing in, you guessed it, cruise ship retreats. This podcast is for service-based entrepreneurs and corporate decision makers to learn more about staying everyone's favorite company with a cruise ship retreat. Ready to increase your client or employee retention? Listen in on this week's show. Welcome everyone! It is such an exciting day today. I know I don't normally come to you on Monday, but guess what? I am coming to you every single day this week. Monday through Friday, you're going to get a little piece of me in the Cruise Retreat series on the Cruise Retreat Podcast. So many big changes going on this week, and it is awesome. I am so pumped. I hope you are so pumped up for this. I cannot wait to go a little bit more in depth with you on each of the 5 C's of cruise retreat planning. And also, this serves very complementary to the Cruise Retreat Toolkit. So if you have not purchased your toolkit yet, go to cruiseretreattoolkit.com, enter code podcast, and get $20 off and get your toolkit, because what we talk about here on the podcast is going to go very well with what we discuss in the toolkit. And not only that, you're going to get a lot of resources that you can actually put to paper or electronically if you prefer that. But I'm very much about giving you guys tangible information on how to make your cruise retreat the best and greatest that you can for your organization, whether that be the company that you run or the business that you own. And part of that is providing resources that are in the toolkit that can get you to actually write down and work on things, think of things, like actually see real life examples, but then also get templates that you can start writing things down and putting dates to paper, for example. So without further ado, let's get started. There is just a small disclaimer. It's very simple. The whole retreat series, as well as the 5 C's, they're a really great base for what you need to know in retreat planning. This is really good just to kind of get any ideas that you have in your head out to paper, like I said, or into a written plan if that's electronically. If you had more detailed questions, and that could be from any of the processes that is more specific to your company or your business, then it would be the best time to plan a brainstorming session with me so that we can go over the ins and outs. And then if you think that this might be a good fit or some of your ideas would very easily translate to a cruise retreat, we can go ahead and start the planning process together as well. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's go to camp, aka your cruise retreat. The cruise retreats really are like going to camp. It's like a getaway camp. Really, you're going there to make some sort of transformation. So either you're trying to reinvigorate your people, you're also trying to give them new knowledge, whether it's what they need to know on the job or new knowledge in the field that you're in and that you specialize, that you teach. There is just so much wrapped into one. So this is not strictly Charlie Brown, I'm going to teach you all this stuff. Or it's not strictly woohoo, we're going to have so much fun. It's a nice blend of both. It is to strengthen the current relationships that you have and that your people have, and to build new ones. Something that we're going to talk a little bit more, that you'll be able to see a little bit more in depth in the next lesson, is how much more cost effective a cruise retreat is versus a land retreat. And that's because there's more included in the costs. So that's a big win-win for everybody. So today we are going to talk about the first C, and that is cruise. So we are going to try and narrow down at least what type of cruise would work best. The itineraries that I have included in the toolkit are for 3, 4, and 7 night retreats. Now, these are the most common, so that's why I included them. It's a little bit easier to visualize as well. And there are other itineraries that are available, lots of different options, but I do want to keep it simple so that you don't get stuck in analysis paralysis, as I myself am sometimes guilty of. So I want to help you out there. In your toolkit, you're going to see a breakdown of different itineraries for the 3, the 4, and the 7 night cruises. On your port days, you're going to have more time in port, so it's not really great for education days, but you can do a little bit of education if you'd like to. On your sea days, those are best for your education days or your teaching days, and this is totally up to you and your organization. If you are, and this is more for the small business peeps, if you're not interested in teaching, then a joint venture is probably more your speed, where you can take your following on a cruise and just learn a little bit more about whatever it is that you do. So that could be winemaking on a river cruise in Europe. It could be also a river cruise on Europe. It could be like going to the Floriade in 2022. So any of my flower and garden aficionados, there's lots of history. If that is your business or organization, and you have done so much teaching here at home, you do not want to be teaching while you're abroad, a joint venture is going to be more for you, not a cruise ship retreat. Other considerations are time of year. And this is going to be very important, one, for your budget, because depending on the time of year, cruises are more expensive. And 2, your fiscal calendar. Meaning, are there things that are happening throughout the year where your business is going to be super busy that you cannot focus anything on planning, and you cannot focus anything like getting your people out in the office, or the people that you are coaching in your small business won't be able to get away? Things that I can think of off the top of my head are holidays. Holidays are very important times. So maybe you are not going on a cruise per se, doing a cruise retreat during the holidays, but maybe you can plan a cruise retreat, like do some of the planning components around the holidays, because things may have slowed down into your organization. That is going to be very dependent on what your individual calendar is, regardless of if you're corporate sending your employees on the retreat or if you're a small business taking some of your clients aboard. The calendar is going to be very important in planning which itinerary probably is going to be best. Audience. Now, this is going to be easier for small businesses to figure out than corporate, because obviously the people that you're going to be bringing are your clients. Now, maybe you have a directory of many clients and you just want to bring a small cohort of clients. That would be something else that you could think about, is maybe doing this is like a specific cruise mastermind or whatnot. On the corporate side, this is very important to consider as well, but it's going to be a little bit different. Do you want to bring your full team? Do you want to bring a partial team? And this could be, do you want to bring all your full-time employees, or do you just want to bring the executive leadership? Or maybe you want to just do cruise retreats in individual departments. So maybe like the finance team is going to go on a cruise retreat for April, and then the marketing team is going to go in October or whatnot. Lastly, your budget. And the budget is going to be the next thing that we talk about tomorrow. But that is very important, obviously, because you need to know where your numbers are going to be at and what you can afford to do. So maybe you would love to do a 7-day retreat, but your budget is more like, we're going to have to do a 4-night, not a 7-night. Another very important consideration is the length of time. Can you be out for 7 days? Maybe you can only be out for a short amount of time. Maybe you can be out for longer. What needs to get accomplished on this cruise retreat? If you're a small business owner, are there any big things that have to be accomplished that you've kind of made goals for your clients that are coming aboard? Maybe for the corporate, it is that you're taking your executive team and every sea day, they're going to be planning out the fiscal year for the following year. This is going to be very dependent on the itineraries also, because you may think you can do one, but you're probably going to need to do another. Or maybe you thought of doing a short one, but really you need some extra days. So it's all about that kind of balancing act, give or take. You need to really know what the purpose of your retreat is, why you're going, and what you want people to accomplish once they are out of the cruise setting. And that is kind of your basics for the First Sea cruise. Tomorrow, we're going to get into our second C, which is calculate. And for you not numbers friendly, don't worry. I try and make it as simple as possible for you. That is it for me. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you here tomorrow. Thank you for joining me on the Cruise Retreat podcast. Please subscribe and leave the show a rating on your favorite podcast platform. And don't forget to take a look at the show notes for important information and links. See you next week.